Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Just wanted to stream myself watching the NHL Draft. It's supposed to start now, but I mean, you never know. People are delayed and whatnot, and I mean, they're pretty good usually about when they're gonna start. But until then, whenever that may be, we can just hang out with me and myself and I. But also until then, I'll talk about what has happened so far. I mean, obviously not draft wise, but signing wise and just news around the league. So something smaller but semi big. Trent Frederick, who used to play for Boston, signed an 8-year contract with the Oilers, which that's a long time. And next year, I believe, max you can offer your own players 7 years, and for free agents. Sorry, I have it in my ear. I'm watching it and listening to it. But next year, and for free agents, you can only sign them to a 6-year contract. So I wonder if that's trying to limit the trading dead contracts, or the Zach Parise and forget the other guy signing 15-year deals in God, I'm totally forgetting what I'm trying to say, in the Wild, and which was honestly a crazy contract to give out to I mean, they were amazing guys, but 15 years, you have no idea who's going to get injured, or who's going to be cold or whatnot. And if you did want to trade them, you at least had to wait like 7 years into that contract, because none of that was ideal, and they were just a hinder for the Wild too. It was just not great contracts. But in other news, Marner is likely, but you never know. Marner is likely to hit free agency. And I don't think anybody's surprised there. He hasn't done great on Toronto and for the playoffs. But a player that I'm very surprised they did re-sign was John Tavares. I get he's a hurt person. He's probably an amazing person. I'd love to meet him someday. But he just hasn't really proved to be a playoff guy. And they signed him to a 4-year contract. Yeah, he took an incredible pay cut, but I don't think other teams were that interested in him anyways. And they what's his name? Trey Living said that he wanted a DNA change, but you basically are bringing back every single person that was a part of the problem, except for one person. But that's not going to change much. Like, Matthews is still there, Nylander is still there, Riley's still there, Tavares is now back for 4 years. There could also be speculation. This is just my speculation. I mean, that maybe they're signing Matthews and Tavares to these low contracts. I actually have two different reasons in my head. For Tavares, I think they're trying to trade him, just to maybe give him an opportunity on a better team, just like what Boston did with Marchand. With Matthews, I think Matthews didn't want to sign long term, and I think 4 years was like that middle ground. He probably wanted to leave, and I don't know why he would want to stay. Speaking of players that I thought would have stayed way longer, Charlie Coyle, again a previous Boston Bruin, was just traded to the from Colorado Avalanche to the Blue Jackets. And not a huge trade. It was just him and Miles Wood for picks. I think I didn't exactly see the full trade. But a bigger trade was with a bigger trade was the Canadiens trading for Noah Dobson and giving picks 16 and 17 back to back in this draft. And there's a lot of speculation that the Islanders want to select Schaefer and Higgins, which were the two top American prospects basically for most of the season they were 1-2, and now with other players kind of hitting that stride and going past Higgins, the Islanders think there's just speculation. If I'm saying it's just speculation, the Islanders think if they could use the 16 and 17 pick to trade up with Boston for the 7th pick, because pretty much in every single mock draft, Higgins drops to 5 to 6. Oh, the Islanders are on the clock. They do have 10 minutes, so it's gonna. Oh wow, they were quick about that. So Matthew Schaefer officially has gone first overall to the New York Islanders. Nobody's surprised about that. I think wasn't really big news. That was pretty predictable. But I mean he's an incredible player. Sorry, I'm closing some tabs for some reason. I'll just look up the prospects so I can give some information on them. I don't want videos, I want information. I just want semi-information. Actually, while I look this up, I'm also going to look up my rankings. So I actually had James Higgins going first, but I did make these rankings a bit ago, and obviously the order has changed. So Matthew Schaefer, left-handed defender, 6'2", 183 pounds. I had him go projected second. I thought he was going to go to the third because when I was watching him, this was before, but when I was watching him, I don't know if I really saw enough for him to go first. I had shooting 3 out of 10, passing 5 out of 10, toughness 10 out of 10, being in the play 10 out of 10. Do they deke a lot was 0 out of 10 because he is a defenseman. And then do they just shoot it 3 out of 10. So altogether he had a 31 out of 100 in my eyes. My little personal bio that I made was, he knows how to extinguish the danger in a very calm way. His projection is all over the place from 2 to 7. Regardless, he has something special. Not a lot of D-men have. He has the ability to understand. He's not the main character, but he will put in a 200-foot goal every now and then. My spelling was not correct on this. Don't let the low ratings fool you. But he does go first, and obviously over the course of the year, his rankings have gotten better. So he obviously was projected to go number 1. Going to make sure. Okay, well, the Islanders picked, but they didn't put it up on the screen. Now it's the Sharks pick, and there is very high speculation that yep, I just got the notification. There's very high speculation that Michael Misa will go second. That's why James Higgins is falling. My ranking, my draft prospect about Michael Misa. It's distracting me because they're talking in my ear. Where is it? Fondell, Montorn. Oh, Michael Misa. I actually had Michael Misa going first. I really fell in love with this kid. He has incredible skill. So he's a left-handed center, 6'1", 185, shooting 10 out of 10, passing 5 out of 10. Toughness 5 out of 10, being in the play 10 out of 10, do they deke a lot 2 out of 10, do they just shoot it 8 out of 10, and then I added hand-eye and forgot to add it for my Schaefer. Hand-eye to me is like, do they shoot it or do they know where they're gonna shoot it? Like, I would rather, and actually there was an Oilers and Panthers game where the Panthers won by shooting less. But those shots were more methodical. They were more thought out rather than shooting 100 times on net. But I'm okay with both. If my team shot 100 pucks at net, I'd say like 50% of them should go in. Um, but I feel like I'd be more excited if my team shot 70 goals and and 20 of them went in. Or yeah, 20 of them went in, but they were like great shots. I think I would rather that, honestly. But I mean, shoot on the net. Just shoot on the net and see. But my little bio about Michael Misa is he has the best hand-eye coordination I've seen. Any team is lucky to draft him. Even if he goes number one, he's a steal of the draft. This guy could change any team because he's a shooter first, but he's also a team player, but he understands games sneakily well. He has moved himself up the draft board. There was talks that Boston could draft him at 7, and then he just worked himself up the draft board. I haven't gotten any notifications about the second pick, but if the Sharks draft Michael Misa, they could have an amazing squad next season. They haven't really been that bad of a team for that long. Um, I mean, it's just like the Canadians. Like the Canadians just need a goalie in my eyes, and they'll be set to be a top contending team again. But how this draft is going is I mean, obviously it's just the first pick, but it seems like it's gonna be very typical. There's actually a new guy here that I haven't heard of, but he's high up on this draft order. Um, so how this order actually is going is James Hagen, Michael Schaefer, Michael Misa, Porter Mautone, Anton Fondell, Victor Eklund, Malcolm Spence. I don't know who Malcolm Spence is. Roger McQueen, Caleb Dejanore, Jackson Smith, Ivan Ryabakin. I actually have a draft report on him because earlier in the year he was projected to go in the top 5. He still could. That's the other thing I've kept hearing about this draft is I guess it's not a deep draft, so there's going to be a lot of teams trying to trade up in the draft. But I think they said the same thing about the Pasternak draft, and Pasternak was picked 25. And a lot of people don't want Boston to trade down from 7 to 16 and 17 if that's a legitimate rumor. Which I mean, it could be. I'd be okay with that. Trading down, I'd say 10 spots, but you get 2 picks back to back is awesome. Sorry, my sports dad messaged me. Or my dad who's into sports, I guess. He's just telling me about actually another a thing that I forgot to say. I mean, I'd be surprised if you haven't heard it yet, but Sam Bennett signed an 8-year, $8 million contract with the Florida Panthers. I don't know how long he's been with the Panthers for. I don't know if it's been that long because I just don't remember him being on the Panthers that long. But 8 years for I think they wanted to do that because they knew that next year it was going to be 7 years, and they probably just wanted to clock on that extra year. But we'll see what happens. He's obviously an incredible player. A little dirty in my eyes because there's just some things that the whole team, and maybe it's the team that he's on. There was a couple things that I'm still not over when they faced Boston 2 years ago in the playoffs. Boston should have beaten them, but there was a couple, things that happened that I still don't like. But I mean, a lot of people say that about Brad Marchand, but it's kind of different. Maybe not. Maybe it is a little biased of me saying Brad Marchand doesn't do wrong, because he does do wrong. But I would love to have both on my team, but I wouldn't love. I guess if Brad Marchand starts doing things that he did on Boston in Florida and I notice it, I'd be like, okay, then it's a little biased. But Yeah, we'll see how it goes. An 8-year contract is a long time, I think, for anybody. But we'll see. I mean, it just really depends on what's going to happen next year. It's going to depend on what Bennett does. Does he get traded? Does he get another Stanley Cup next year? Anything can literally happen in the next 8 years. And I think he's 30 or 29. So he's going to be like 30, 37, 38 by the time that contract ends. So I think he's going to probably finish his career. And if he plays another 8 years max in the league and only wins 2 Stanley Cups, I'd say that's a pretty good way to end your career. And maybe he'll end it earlier. I have no idea. The only person who would truly know that is Sam Bennett himself. But he's only 29, 30. He's not even thinking about retiring for at least 5 years, I'd say. But you never know. I mean, there's injuries, there's whatnot, and hockey is the most relentless sport in all sports. Yeah, the San Jose Sharks are picking right now. They are on the clock. I'm hearing that it could be Misa. I'm hearing that it could be Fondell. I would be extremely surprised if Misha doesn't get picked here. But there is a load of reasons to why people don't want to select a particular person. Every year, the teams ask their prospects, or ask the NHL prospects, just random questions, just to see what their answer is, just to see what kind of person they are. Because how I interpreted that is, if you ask a stupid question, you're either going to get a stupid answer back or you're going to get a logical answer. If you ask me like a really dumb question of like, I don't even know, but just like something silly, like why isn't your favorite color blue? And it's like, well, I don't know. And I think it's a good way to see how they respond to just randomness and maybe how they give their initial reaction. Like, do they find that funny? Are they going to be a tough ass? Are they going to be a softie? Are you going to have to like console them about things, or are you gonna like treat them like a man and be like, hey, like this is how it's gonna go, and that's just how it's gonna go. But every player is different, obviously. Every player reacts to things differently, and I think that's why they ask those weird questions. And it's funny because one of the questions was, what was the weirdest question you've been asked? And I think all of them unanimously said, like, it was like a Buffalo question or a Philly question, but they never said what the question was. I'm like, that's funny that they all unanimously said that it was the same team. Sorry, me and my friend are going to a soccer game or a football match. Um, I went to one like probably 15 years ago now. And every time I pass by the arena, it's booming. Our soccer team here sucks. I'm from Canada. Our soccer team is not great because we're not known for soccer. I mean, in the championships and stuff like that, we are because we have good players. But when it's like the lower tier teams, we don't really. Um, Man, this is taking a long time for the Sharks to make their pick. I wonder if they don't know. Like, I I I I think they just wanted to see the foot, but it's tough being the second pick because you have Hagens there, you have Misha there, you have Fundell, you have. I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot. But I think the Sharks should take Misa. Um, I mean, Hagens is there, but I think they should take Misha. Misha. I think it's Misha. Actually, I think it's just Misa because he plays in the OHL. The pick is in. Oh, that's cool. I I was just told that Bailey from the WWE is making the Sharks pick. That's funny. I'm just waiting to see what they say. But also, I've watched videos of Bailey, and she's like a super nice person. Apparently, she's a huge Sharks fan. That makes sense. They're talking about how instead of just walking up there and announcing the pick, they got to do a whole thank you for this and good opportunity and yada yada and oh, it's Michael Misa. Okay, I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised that they took Michael Misa. I don't think like I just was heard that they won't regret this pick. I would be a little shocked. Well, see, it's hard to compare Michael Misa to Schaefer because obviously defenseman and forward. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen. I think everybody assumed Michael Misa was going to go second. And now I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Michael Misa, fantastic pick for the Sharks. Though the Sharks, they gotta figure something out. They got these star players on their team. They don't want to be like Buffalo. They're kind of doing a smart thing. They are building up their team for that potential playoff run, or maybe they're gonna do like Vegas, and they get a bunch of prospects and then trade them away for veteran players. And that's how Vegas won the cup. Though Vegas won the cup because they got to start with a team that had already established NHL players on the team. So I'm in a sports thing on my phone and I don't get notifications for it, which is weird, but my phone will go off without a notification, but then sometimes I won't get any notification. I don't know, it's weird. Um, but yeah, Michael Misa going second overall. Um, I don't know how big he is actually. I think I did read that, but I will look again. Michael Misa, 6'1", 185. And he's a left-handed center. Oh, there's some highlights. See, he's got incredible, just like deekness, and he knows when to shoot it and where to shoot it. I think that's what I said in my thing. But he just knows where to shoot this. You know, I actually do want to try something, because I'm pre-recording this. This isn't live. I wonder if I could just, if I could just record what I'm watching, just to show you guys. And if I get in trouble for it, then I guess then whatever. I'll just figure it out. I'll just cut this. I don't know. I'll see if it's fine. Maybe I'll have to cover, I don't know, this or something. I'll just go up to them. Maybe I'll hide the logo. They're just talking about should we show Matthew Schaefer highlights, but I'm a part of like the YouTube Premium, and I can download all of this stuff. But I'll see. It's you can't hear them obviously. But I'll see. I have to unfortunately keep it now on this left screen, and I'll be looking away from you guys. 'Cause I forget how I made it the left screen, and I don't wanna figure that out right now. Yeah, the Hawks are picking third, and the Hawks, they had an absolute collapse. Like imagine these are Matthew Schaefer highlights. Imagine winning 2 or 3 Stanley Cups in like 7 to 10 years, and then just falling apart, and like you let Tavares go and you let Kane go, and then your team completely falls apart because you never actually planned life after Kane and Taves. I keep calling him Tavares. I don't know why. Yeah, Matthew Schaefer. I mean, nobody's surprised that he went first. Though he did work himself up to that route. I actually don't know if I'm able to show. Well, I'm not. They're not. Like I'm not. They're not. You're not able to hear them. And yes, the faces are here. Maybe I should cover this instead. Because, like, that's the logo. I feel like I could show the draft logo, but maybe I should cover the podcast name. I mean, it's a little late now. I've already shown it. But I will see. I don't have a lot of followers anyways, so I feel like it's fine. I mean, worst case, it's not. Whatever. What I was gonna do tonight was go see that new F1 movie. I'm actually very excited to go see it. I might go see it like way later tonight and do like the 4D, or I might see it tomorrow at like 12:30 in the afternoon. But I'm like, then I gotta kind of like get my shit together before that, and I don't really want to do that. So I might go at 11 or 10:30, I think it was. But yeah, I just realized that the Penguins are picking back to back from 11 to 12. And I wonder if Boston would be interested in that. I'd be more okay with that, obviously, that they don't trade down as much. Yeah, I hope this is fine to show, because you're not hearing them, and they are a part of a thing. And I have the YouTube Premium, so I've actually shown hockey stats, or I've shown hockey videos before. And I was fine. They were older videos, but I didn't get flagged for it. I mean, worst case, if I've actually met these 3 guys. They're actually very nice. They're all 3 are Leaf fans. So if they have an issue with it, then whatever, that's fine. I wasn't really gonna do much anyways. You can't hear them anyways. But they are currently picking right now, so I will see what happens. I don't know if they would trade the pick. I don't know if they would. Oh, I just realized. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I just wanted the information of the prospects. They might take Hagens here. They don't really have a centerman to take. Oh, they don't have a centerman of the future, as far as I'm aware. But I will see what they have to say. Why do the Flames have the last pick in the draft? Where's Florida's? Whoa! Anton Frondell gets picked. Wow. Okay. I actually also have a report on Anton Frondell. It's funny that I'm hearing it before they actually see it. Anton Frondell, left-handed center and left winger, 6 foot 195. He's 205 now, so he's added his weight. Shooting 8 out of 10, passing 2 out of 10, speed 6 out of 10, being in the play 8 out of 10. Do they deke a lot? 2 out of 10. Do they just shoot it? 10 out of 10. Hand-eye 10 out of 10. he probably had one of the higher scores for being a lower-ended guy. And they just, that's funny, they're just randomly showing a fighting highlight of Ben Danforth. Oh, this is the guy that is on Toronto that they either drafted or got him in a trade. So my future boom or bust. I forgot to also say this. I say quick boom. I say he's going to be he's going to show his value that fast. The personal bio I wrote was he's patient. He knows when to shoot. He also has a keen eye offensively and defensively. He might go higher than people assume. Whoever drafts him will have a day one starter. And I think he went higher than a lot of people assumed. There was high speculation that Boston would take him at 7. Now, with Flondell not available, you still have Motone, you still have Eklund, you have Roger McQueen, you have DeJournay, I think. And then the highest speculation that Boston will draft is Jake O'Brien, for my hometown's team, the Brantford Bulldogs. And I've seen him play, and when he's not there, the Bulldogs fall apart. But I am okay with any pick if it's not Roger McQueen, or if it's not that I forget his name, but he's actually not on this list right now. There's a guy that has shot himself up the draft ranks, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I think Boston will draft him," but I really hope they don't. Caleb Mountain, I think his name is, or Chris Mountain, or something like that. Actually, Chris Mountain is the singer of Coldplay, I think. I'd love Porter Malone, Eklund, Roger McQueen, not really. Only because he is a 6'7" centerman, so he is a Boston Bruin to the T, but he had a bad back injury. And that's kind of a tough injury to recover from, because your back can affect your legs, and then your legs can affect your ankles. And pretty much anywhere from the back to your ankles, if that gets wrecked, that's a little hard to recover from. So I'm hoping that they just kind of a little more smart with this pick. I liked the Dean Latorda pick last year. A lot of people don't, because he hasn't really scored a lot this year. But I mean, that's fine. Like he's a 6'7" center. Not every single forward needs to have goals. Like Krejci didn't really score that many goals. He had way more assists. He was the assist guy. He was the playmaker. He was the guy who knew exactly what to do and how to accomplish and how to execute it, and that to me is Anton Flondell. So the Blackhawks, I think, got a great player. With the top 3 people, the third pick, I think, has defined the draft. Obviously, there's still 30 more picks after, or 31 more picks. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I think whatever happens in the next, what are they picking? Whatever happens in the next 3 picks will definitely define. If Roger McQueen gets taken here, great. If that one guy, still can't remember his name, gets taken here, great. Did Florida trade their... You know what's the other thing? Utah... I mean, it's just Arizona, so nothing really changed, but Utah may trade this pick. I just have a weird inkling that they might, because... Or maybe they would use it on James Higgins. Just a guy that... they just need somebody to establish that team. That's why, obviously, Arizona moved to... Well, I say... that's why Arizona moved to Utah, but Arizona had Shane Doan. They've had top-ended players, but they never really friggin' establish themselves. Oh, stream froze. Oh, it freezing currently. Not really sure why it's freezing, actually. I don't have that many things loaded. Oh, I didn't mean to open that. Actually, I'll close that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'll just reload it and see what happens. Yeah. Oh. That's a funny thing to freeze on. I don't understand what's happening. A lot of people are saying it's them. Actually, I should close that. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's their fault. I guess until maybe I'll switch to another person. This guy's good to watch, the hockey guy. Let me just apparently there's a golfer making the pick for Utah right now. That's funny. They just said that they're gonna make the draft last until the preseason starts. These guys are probably okay to film, I think. Sorry. I know I shouldn't be on my phone. Wow. 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 Caleb Denoyer. Caleb Denoyer. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Caleb Denoyer went fourth. That's surprising to me. I just want to see if the other people, if they fixed the stream. Ah, they did. So Caleb Denoyer, I didn't write a thing down for him because I didn't think he was gonna go this high. Now I think Atlanta. Now I think the Islanders are trying to aggressively trade for pick 5, 6, or 7. Hagens is still on the board. McQueen still on the board. Martone still on the board. They're just showing Ben Danford stats again. This is why I like watching these guys, because they're serious about hockey, but like they're also not at the same time. Yeah, Caleb Denoy. I think the Islanders are trying to aggressively trade for pick 5 and 6 right now. A lot of people say that Hagens won't get past Philly, so I wonder if Boston is trying to trade up with Philly, but probably not Philly with the Islanders. Maybe they're calling the Islanders right now. We'll see. I'd be okay with. They do need a center, and a center that is still available. Actually, well, is Jake O'Brien. They may take Jake O'Brien. There's high speculation that they'll take him. Caleb Mountain is also a center, but they have actually also drafted a lot of centers. They just drafted two the past two drafts. And they've been center heavy because they're trying to find that Bergeron replacement, that first line centerman, which is obviously pretty much a player that every team is looking for. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with pick 5 right now. They're 2 picks away from Boston's pick. Which I may just end it after that because I don't know how long I've been streaming for. I've been streaming for 40 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to Boston's pick. I mean, I might also, if Jake O'Brien doesn't go to 7, I'd like to see where he goes. But I'm also not doing much else. But it is a little boring when I'm not talking with somebody else about the draft. So I might just do a little till top 10 or something. I'll see if I just get bored halfway through or if it takes too long. But they are taking a while. Wow, that's really funny. The Islanders got 2 picks back to back from 2 different trades. I thought they. Yeah, wow, that's really funny. So I wonder if the Islanders are trying to trade up with one of the 3 teams right now, and that's why it's taking a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if the Islanders are able to swing a trade. They just traded Noah Dobson. That was their biggest trade asset. I mean, worst case scenario, they get to keep pick 16 and 17. Oh no. It seems like they're pretty okay with that. Never mind. Wow, they're taking their sweet time. They probably asked for extra time because I think they're trying to trade this pick right now. A very good app, by the way, to download for all of this information is the Sleeper app. When the NBA or the MLB draft or did I say the NBA? The NBA draft just happened. Literally yesterday. I think it was the baseball draft. I don't know. There was a draft of some sorts. Maybe it was I don't know. There was a draft of some sorts, and I kept getting notifications like, oh, usually I'd never get this, and I have to scroll for the information to try and randomly find it on an article that some no-name reporter posted. I would like to. I should go to more games and try and interview people because I have a professional mic and everything, and I feel like that would be very fun, and it would help me try and get into that because right now trying to be an artist in my industry is not going well, and I'm just looking at other things, and I obviously love sports. And love video games, so I would love to go to a game and just interview. But I wonder if you can just do that, or if I have to get a thing. I don't know. Maybe I can just go there and just interview, just fans. Brady Mountain, that's his name. They just said his name. Brady Mountain was the guy that's been pushing himself up the draft order, which is, of course, a player that Don Sweeney loves to draft. But it's funny because they just compared him to Brad Marchand. So, but Brad Marchand, that's a special type of player. He was picked in the 3rd round. And imagine telling a small, young, scrappy Brad Marchand who got picked in the 3rd round that you're going to be one of the most hated players, but you're going to get 2 Stanley Cups with 2 different teams and have a career of 1,000 plus games in the NHL. He'd be sweet, deal, awesome. I might just switch over to the other people because it doesn't seem like theirs is crashing. Nashville still hasn't made a pick. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that I accidentally moved my person. I thought there was a trade. Nashville is making the pick. Wow. Ah, that's cool. Shea Weber's making the pick for Nashville. I wonder who Nashville is going to take. It might be James Higgins. But Philly's not going to let James Hagan. I think. I mean, Portamalone is still there. Another C. I mean, Jake O'Brien. Jake O'Brien, could be Jake O'Brien. This will decide what. Yeah, this is it's been 40 minutes and they've gone through 4 picks right now. Well, I don't understand why this takes forever to do. Brady Moten! Wow! I am shocked. That's the first shocking one that I've done. So, and I got this excited last time. Wow. I am shocked about that. It's Brady Moten. Wow. Nashville taking a swing there. Probably taking the pressure off of Boston. Philly has an opportunity of picking James Higgins. Wow. I'm shocked about that. I thought Brady Moten, he was obviously moving up the draft rankings, but I didn't think he was going to get picked before Boston gets picked. That's wow. So Philly has the choice of if they want a center, obviously, and it's funny. It's been all centers right now except for Schaefer. Could be Higgins, could be Jake O'Brien. Another center is there's actually a lot of defensemen that yeah, Higgins should have gone too. Wow. Philly, I feel like would take James Higgins. I would absolutely love if Boston could get James Higgins. But if Philly sees him there, but it's just speculation. I've only heard just yeah, they're just talking about if Higgins is there and Boston is picking. This is I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what Philly's gonna do here. And I wonder if Boston would try and trade back up into the draft. Yeah, they're just talking about how Swayman having a rough year. Um, and yeah, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. That's what they just said. Boston all around had a bad year. They traded some players. They got some new players. They're just trying to figure things out. They got a high draft pick. It doesn't mean they're gonna fully rebuild. I personally think they're going to retool. Yeah, they're just talking about how slow these drafts are. I don't know why they're so slow. It's been almost 50 minutes and Boston has yet to pick. And they give 10 minutes to each team, and it's that's a long time. If a team doesn't know I thought he was announcing. My brain forgot what I was going to say because they're talking in my ear. Forgot what I was going to say. I really want Higgins. I think it would be an amazing draft pick if Higgins could drop. And I have no idea if Philly wants Higgins. Philly could go for a defenseman. Maybe they want the Broad Street Bullies back. There was I got a notification a minute ago, but it might be just Brady Mountain. Yeah, it was just Brady Mountain. Motone is still there. We'll see. We'll see what Philly does. There's something happening. Is there a trade? Ah, Philly's making the trade. Philly's making the pick too. Charles Barkley. That's who's making the Philly pick. That's so funny. Ooh. I really want James Higgins. If I don't get him, obviously not me, but Portamotone could be a good pick. Could be also Roger Quinn. Could be Jacob Bryan. Like, I really want James Higgins. And to me, he's not dropping because he's bad. He's just dropping because there's other players who other teams see as better. That doesn't mean James Higgins is a bad player. I think Brady Tkachuk didn't get picked until the 7th. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. That just meant other teams thought there was other players better than him. Man, this is taking a long time. Holy. It's been, like I said, it's been an hour. Almost an hour. And who is it? Right winger. They took Portamotone? Or Portamotone? Wow. The last time I got... Wow. Last time I got this excited, Boston could have drafted Bozo, and then they drafted... I really want Boston to draft James Higgins. Please, Boston, James Higgins. Please. You would show to so many Boston fans, Don Sweeney would prove himself if he got to stay where he was. Please don't trade down. James Higgins is here. Oh, come on. It's got to be James Higgins. But James Higgins literally plays for Boston College. I didn't notice that until right now. Come on. I want James Higgins. If not James Higgins, my second choice would be Jacob Bryan. Jacob Bryan actually scored more than James Higgins. That's funny. But obviously Brantford Bulldogs versus Boston College, little smaller. And that's probably why he scored more goals. I also look at teams that have a guy who scored a lot of goals and taken a lot of shots versus somebody who has less that, but has a better plus negative. Because it's like, oh, okay, if this player is like the whole team basically, then maybe we should go with the other guy who is a team player. Not saying that Jacob Bryan isn't a team player, but I think I'd rather go with like a Higgins type who doesn't score a lot, but is a part of the play and does help set up the play, rather than the guy who does score a lot because he's the only person there scoring. And he might not be a big-time name if he's not the only person scoring. Or if he is the only person, not the person, you know what I mean. Wow, they're talking about Gavin McKenna? Oh, yeah. I forgot that Gavin McKenna was a next year first overall guy. I was just talking about if Nashville won the draft lottery next year. which I could see. Like Nashville just had a terrible year this year, but I would actually like if if NHL did baseball drafting, where you get your draft position is what you were where you were last year in the standings. So with the Jays, they could play great the year prior, but then play terrible the next year, but still have a later pick because they played amazing. It stops teams from tanking. It stops teams from trying to be. That's funny. They're saying that Boston might trade this pick. I think Boston should pick. If James Higgins is still here, I'm still shocked that Porter Martone. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong for some reason, but it's literally spelled Martone. Porter Martone or Martone. Martone. Yeah. It's taken a long time. It's taken a long time, but it is taking a long time. But that's natural right now. There could be an opportunity for the Penguins. Okay, that's new information. So they just said that McQueen, his back is just a little concern. I thought he broke his back or something, but he must have just maybe tweaked it, and that's why he's dropping. Um, they're. I also like watching these people. Ooh, please take James Higgins. How big is James Higgins? James Higgins is actually very small. He's only 5'11", 176. He's not that big. But I mean, Caulfield was small, Kane was small. Like, just because the league is getting to be bigger and bigger sizes doesn't mean these smaller guys should go. That maybe that's why he's dropping. Maybe people don't like his size. I really want them to take James Higgins. I really want them to take James Higgins. Yeah, they're just talking about who would be the steals of last year's draft, but it like they said, it's too early to learn that. Um, they're talking about Boston trading the pick. I don't want them to trade the pick. James Higgins is here. I just realized they have a big whiteboard. Like, I thought it was two. Yeah, so it's too early to talk about last year's draft because it's last year. You have no idea. Like, Dean Latorta could be an amazing pick in a couple years. People have no idea. I have no idea who was picked first last year. Boston is picking. Please, please, Boston. Oh, please be James Higgins. Please don't pick Roger McQueen. He's got the back problem. I'm sorry, what? They just said Happy Gilmore is making a draft pick. What? That's so funny. Why? I mean, who is it? To see. Yes! Yes! It's fucking James Hagen! Yes! That's huge. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. 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 Damn, man. That is massive. That is a massive pick. And not literally. I mean, he's a short guy. That's why it's massive. Oh, man, I am pumped up. I am so happy. I don't know how they swung that. Honestly, what happened was the Blackhawks passing on James Hagen, Utah passing on James Hagen, Nashville passing on James Hagen, and maybe one of those four teams, including Philly, I think got freaked out that James Hagen was here. And they're like, oh, so I think they got panicked, or maybe not. Maybe they just liked people better. That is massive for Boston to get James Hagens. That is huge. That's massive, massive, massive. Wow. Like, just wow. I know he's a small guy, but look at Caulfield. Caulfield strictly dropped because of his height, and maybe that's why. I'm curious to see if it actually would be funny if Seattle drafted Jake O'Brien because they have God, I forget his name, and he's from Brantford. My brother knows him too. But that is massive. That's massive. That James Hagen. I'll tell you my rankings on James Hagen's. James Hagen, left-handed center, 5'11", 176. I actually had him the consensus first overall pick, and he dropped 7. He dropped 7. Shooting, 7 out of 10. Passing, 7 out of 10. Toughness, 2 out of 10. Being in the play, 10 out of 10. Do they deke a lot? 2 out of 10. Do they just shoot it? 8 out of 10. He had a lower score than I thought, but my future boom or bust was boom. Was straight up boom. Like not a quick boom, but like just straight up boom. The personal bio is he keeps to the play, nothing fancy. He's always in the play, be it the score or creating a play to set up his teammates, so he's humble enough to understand it's a team sport, but isn't afraid to pass up a goal. Unfortunately, with his height and his weight as a sentiment, I don't think he has the strength to push off the dot. But he's the projected franchise player, so he can prove. So can he prove me, or will he fail? And I mean, I still stand by that. He is quite small, but maybe they'll move him. Maybe they'll keep him at center. That's a fantastic pick. If it took an hour just to get through 5 picks, I may end it here. Because I don't want to sit here for 4 hours or 5 hours. Unless I had like somebody else to talk sports with. I will make a video if something does come up. But I'm extremely happy with this pick. This is huge. This is absolutely massive. I just want to see what people are saying. Yeah, some of the comments are saying they'll rue the day. And like I said before, he's not bad because he fell. David Pasternak was picked 25th. Brad Marchand was picked in the 3rd round. Bergeron was picked in the 2nd round. It's just really depending on what team they get drafted to, what basically just what team, what where the team plays, how the team plays. I mean, there's all different speculations on how well a player can do, because people still talk about the 2015 draft where I wanted them to draft Matthew Barzell, and for whatever reason they passed on him. It doesn't really matter the reason anymore because it's been literally 10 years. And people are like, oh, like he's an amazing player. It's like, but you don't know that. And on the Islanders, he had the opportunity of playing on the first line. With Boston at that time, he would have played on the fourth line, and maybe that would have shaken his confidence. Maybe if Jake DeBrusk got picked by the Islanders and he played better, and Boston took Barzell, and people are like, oh, we should have taken Jake DeBrusk because he was a better player. And you never know, honestly. You honestly never know. I don't know how James Hagan fell, but I'm happy that Boston stuck to the guns. I would have been happy if they traded for back-to-back picks in the middle of the first, but with it not being a deep draft, I'm glad that they just took literally the best player available. And I think Sweeney and Clue are realizing, let's just take the best guy that's there. I think if James Hagan wasn't there, they probably would have gone Jake O'Brien or maybe Roger McQueen, though he has that back problem. But like I said, I am going to end it here because I don't want to sit here for 4 hours without company. I don't want to sit on my phone while you guys wait. But I am absolutely stoked. I will watch all of the information on this guy. And he's 19, I think. I didn't actually look at his age. I don't know if I wrote down his age. No, I didn't write down his age. I'm going to safely assume he's somewhere between 19 and 21. And maybe he can grow an inch or two. If he grows an inch or two, great. Literally, if he can grow 1 inch and put on like 20 pounds of weight, awesome. Fantastic. He would be a great player. It's just his height's a little low. Wow, I was right. Jake O'Brien now gets to play with Brandon Montour in Seattle. That's cool. They're both from Brantford. Wow. That's funny. So Boston was looking at a center. Wow. So Boston was either deciding between Hagens or Jake O'Brien, and I think they saw Hagens drop, and they're like, okay, we're going to take Jake O'Brien's. Wow. Okay, now I'm going to end it there because I got to see Jake O'Brien get drafted. I want to see if... they're, I won't switch to the other one because they already probably talked about what's his name. But you're awesome, stay awesome, and rock on. Peace. Whatever. My brain is thinking of something else. Whatever. See ya.